Good evening, everyone. I'm going to start with a hard truth about our world today. People are willing to buy sex. Pornography is rampant. And as a society, we've become desensitized to hypersexualized images that distort God's design for love and intimacy. Oops, forgot the slides. Sorry. It's not working. Oh, there we go. Sorry. I need my 2 seconds back. Right here in San Diego, it's a big problem. The underground sex economy generates $810 million every year. And it's estimated that there can be up to 8,000 new victims of this horrible crime, sex trafficking in San Diego alone. In a study across 20 San Diego County high schools, every single one of them reported recruitment attempts, and 18 of them reported actual cases of sex trafficking amongst their students. So what is sex trafficking? This is when somebody uses force, fraud, or coercion to make another person engage in a commercial sex act. And it's usually done in exchange for money or something of value. And anytime a victim is under 18, that's automatically sex trafficking. So how does this happen? Well, traffickers prey on vulnerabilities that are on all kinds of vulnerabilities, but the most common way that children and women and men are recruited is through online grooming. Sorry. Oh, there we go. Sorry. But what the enemy intends for harm, God can redeem. And that's where Generate Hope steps in. We are a Christ-centered ministry providing both short, long-term, and comprehensive programs for survivors who've survived sex trafficking. Our mission is to walk alongside women and help them restore their lives and rediscover their God-given worth. Our vision is rooted in our faith. It's a world where every survivor experiences true healing and restoration, but true freedom through a relationship with Christ, and a world where trafficking no longer exists. And we hold firm to our core values, which flow from our faith beliefs. So our story, we began in 2009 when God stirred the hearts of a ministry out of Harbor City Church. We launched our first program, Susan's House, and it was the first long-term restorative care home for survivors. In 2018, we expanded to Carol's Cottage, and where we developed an independence program, a guided independence program, where we could help women focus on education and career. And in 2020, God again, He opened the door for our first out-of-state expansion, Rachel's Ranch in Colorado. And this year, we stepped out in faith again, as God asked us to launch a program for women that couldn't reside in our homes. How do we serve more women in the community that are being impacted? So our new program, we serve adult women with children and women coming out of incarceration. We also launched our aftercare and alumni support. And looking ahead, our future is to continue to have God guide us in this season to where He wants us to serve. And for now, He wants us to figure out how to serve minor victims. Now, I want to introduce to you Keelan Washington, our Senior Director of Programs and a survivor leader, who will share more about how God's moving through Generate Hope.
Thank you. I'm so honored and excited to share about the depth and the heart of Generate Hope, our why. I have a real unique experience sitting on two different sides of history. As a survivor of human trafficking, born and raised in San Diego, I'd meet my trafficker when I was just 14 years old. He'd groom me over 4 months, where I thought I was in a real relationship. This individual would later sell me in over 12 states in total for over 3.5 years. When I was able to exit the life of exploitation, it was one of the greatest but yet the most challenging moments of my life. I thought getting out that everything was going to get better, but I was faced with a whole new set of challenges. That I was in a time of history where we were looking at survivors of trafficking as just prostitutes, where our laws were set up to criminalize victims if they were caught in a sting operation, that the victim would be put in jail, charged with solicitation with the intent of prostitution, but the buyer who purchased me was let go. I got out in a time where there were no services. The closest thing to resources were domestic violence shelters. Did not even come close to serving a survivor of human trafficking. The research actually tells us that PTSD symptoms of survivors of trafficking are the same as veterans that went to Vietnam. So as you could imagine, healing through that process is a lifetime. But it was interesting. I was at a conference this past weekend, and I was asked a question that I had never been asked before. What does freedom look like for a survivor of trafficking? For most people, the first thought is that the moment she escapes her trafficker. But that's only one thread of freedom. Freedom looks like overcoming sobriety, getting sobriety after being addicted to substances. It's being able to have pro bono attorneys walk along survivors so they can get vacatures from all of their criminal records. It's divorcing your perpetrator. It's being able to get your GED because you lost all of your high school years being sold to men in our own backyards. That's the course of freedom. And that's exactly what we do at Generate Hope. Generate Hope is a long-term residential program, and when we talk about long-term, we're talking 2 years plus, where survivors come into our home absolutely free of charge, and we get the opportunity to walk alongside them in this journey. We have pro bono attorneys that offer their services. We have tattoo artists and laser removal organizations that get branded tattoos off of victims that their perpetrators put on them. It's us being able to take the time and build relationships that were broken. It's installing humanity from a society and a population of victims who have seen the worst parts in humanity. It's the opportunity we get to show God's love. Because as you can imagine, being trafficked and being a Christian can be the hardest thing for your relationship with Christ. But we get the opportunity step by step, day by day, challenge by challenge, tier by tier, to rebuild what was broken. And we know God gives back tenfold everything that was taken from his children. And so with that, I know we've shared a little bit about what trafficking looks like. You guys have gotten the opportunity to see what it is that we do and hear and learn. But we wanted to take this a step further. We wanted to get an opportunity to take you guys on a journey with what it looks like when a survivor enters the home of Generate Hope.